Following the positive feedback that we got from the Montana muzzleloader shoot, which featured my brother-in-law, Noel Durham, aka Crazy Mountain Man, Noel has provided me with some footage that he took of himself on a recent black powder hunt. It centers mainly around hunting camp, so it shows you how to set up hunting camp, prepare your weapons, some cooking. And so this is a full version of that film. It runs over 30 minutes, so that's a bit long for a YouTube video. So this is a full version, and then I'll break it down into more specific ones that cover just the cooking, just setting up the camp, and just the weapon preparation. So those will follow in the series, so I'll make a little mini series of this. But let's have a look at that full version of that video right now.
Okay, today we're out hunting about a mile from roads. I walked up here before I get going. I wanted to charge up my stuff. You'll see me as I travel through, but we're just leaving the area where we're parking. We're moving up to where we're gonna be hunting. It's about a mile away. You'll see the walk back and forth. Before I get going, I wanted to load my rifle. Just demonstration how we do load the rifle, especially for hunting. It's quite a bit different than competitive shooting. We use a different mixture and stuff. So see the flintlock here, it's a 58 caliber flintlock. First thing I want to do before I do anything is make sure my flint is working. So now check to make sure that the rifle is unloaded by placing the ramrod down the bottom. It goes down to the bottom, it's not loaded. So what I want to do, which of course I knew it wasn't, I want to make sure my spark is getting good flint. Matches up good. My flint, steel, that causes the initial ignition. We want to make sure our spark is appropriate and hitting where we want it to. So it's got good spark. I put a new flint in for the hunting occasion. So when I get ready to start loading, first thing I do is I put my nipple pick in, or my vent pick, and percussion to be a nipple, but the flintlock, it is a vent pick. I slide it down inside the vent hole. And what that does is it gives me a place for the air to go. I find it gives me a little better ignition, so I know my powder charge. And today we're going to be using 105 grains of 2F powder. Yes, I'm in the woods, but I'm not far enough away that I'm too concerned about things. As far as the hunting portion of this goes. So I can make some noise and talk. And I wanted to do this prior to getting into the woods or deeper into the woods. We're starting on private property. We'll actually be ending on private property too. So now, I use a totally different mixture for hunting versus for competition shooting. And this is a mixture of wax and bear grease. And what I do is I've already got these preloaded. And once I pop them in, they're ready to go. There we go. Okay, my flintlock's completely loaded. One of the things I forgot to mention to you is there's two things I do additional after the gun is loaded. What I don't do till I'm ready to actually walk through the woods and actually fire, my frizzen and my pan. My frizzen stays closed and my pan does not get charged until I'm actually in the hunting procedure. When I'm walking through the woods, hiking like we're going to be doing with our bags on, I don't want to have this loaded in case I drop or fall or something. So this pan is not going to be filled with powder. It's kind of like the safety for a flintlock. So it is one of the things. The other thing I do is I can see, and I'll kind of demonstrate to you, I can see the end of my barrel where the wax has gone around. I want to make sure that ring is around nice so that the water doesn't get back inside. And I have a good tight seal, and so I do check that to make sure as well. Anyway, I forgot to mention the pan itself. Before this is actually loaded, the pan has to be filled with powder. My vent pick has to be removed, and the frizzen has to be pushed down. So this is the way I carry it. Oiled leather cover over the top. Sometimes it's referred to a cow's knee or an elbow, and so it goes over the top of the frizzen, keep it all clean and free of water and dirt. So I forgot to mention that. Set up camp. I'll probably not utilize actually put them on right now, but after I sit down and making dinner and stuff, I probably won't have orange on, but we'll see. It depends on how primitive I want to get for showing. Kind of made up to where I want to camp. Doesn't look like much, but this little groove right here next to the stump, it's going to be my next couple nights, or at least tonight for sure. So it's fairly early still, but there's a lot of work to do to get camp ready, and then there's also a lot of work to do to get ready for tomorrow on the evening hunt tonight. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna start making camp, and I'll kind of give an idea of what I'm gonna do. So this area here, all these little branches up here, I'll be taking those little ones off. We're in this area out there. Of course, you heard a shot down there. about a mile away, half mile away. So I'll be clearing that out. The stump will be behind me. This area right in here will be in front of me, and I'll kind of sleep uphill, and the pillow will be kind of be my stump, so you'll see it when it gets done. So I brought another camera, but it didn't work. So we're just doing this off my cell phone. I'll be quiet. I've raked up a bunch of the branches. I'll have a fire there, but not that big. And then over here I'll have another spot where I'll put my bigger firewood for tonight. This will be the pad area I'll be laying at tonight. This will be my pillow, and this will be my bed. It's expected to be around 18 degrees tonight, and we'll kind of hunker in for the cold. Okay, I'll kind of walk through how my camp is set up. So back behind me, a whole bunch of sticks. Nothing's coming in back there. It's kind of a nice little spot where wind break and a little bit of stuff. I'd love to have some green vegetation back there, but I don't. So it's just a little lean-to canvas cover top. I leave this back area, this canvas right here. This right here will flap over the top of my day pack and my backpack. And then there's my extra stuff in the backpack. Walk through everything hanging off the tree. This is the rifle, powder horn, shooting bag, and my priming horn. That's in good access right there. It won't be there when the fire's going. That'll be where my fire is. I've dug around, got to earth, of course, with the fire. And I'll be cooking off of this fire. I've got some elk steaks from another hunt, and we'll cook them off of this. It's kind of a neat little tool. It's a little fork portion, but it goes inside of the rest and then stands there by itself, so I can actually cook down low if I want to, cook high. Nice little thing. I've got my little teapot for the later this evening. I've got some water to boil. Of course, my little axe for cutting things. That's a little lantern. It's a candle lantern. Inside of it is candles. And so what it'll do is tonight, it'll also be a source of heat and light later on. My little pouch right there has a couple essentials in it. My knife. This is my fire start kit. I'll start a fire in a little bit. This is my, it's not water in it, but it is my beverage bottle. And there's my capote and the blanket for the night. We'll just kind of curl up in there. And before I go in, I'll put my rifle and stuff on the inside, my powder horn and stuff up above my head, just because it'll be out of the way and out of the weather in case something happens. You don't need much, just a little bit. This is my rifle case tonight. Excuse me. When I get ready to go, I'll put my rifle inside the case, and it'll be underneath as well, so it keeps the moisture off of it. So that's how it's set up. Pretty simple camp. Pretty simplistic. And I'll start that little fire here later on. Then we're gonna go out and do a little bit of hunting for a little bit. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, it's time for getting my fire going. See, I got my candle lantern there. I got a candle here. I've made my little bird's nest type there, but it's not much. It's not enough to really get going. So what I do is I like to pick it up, move it out of the way, get a couple of bigger ones. So we're past kind of hunting light for me. I saw a bunch of does and I think a buck, but I couldn't tell at the end there. But even though it's light enough to do this, it's not really light enough to be doing the rest of that for hunting, for flintlock and making sure you got the right animal. So what I've done is I picked up some witch's hair, which is right here, and that's lichen off the trees. Really a great fire start, and we'll grab some more for the morning. Got my fire kit ready right here. The char cloth. We'll make some more char cloth tonight too. Put the char cloth here, get it ready to go. I like to start my candles as soon as possible too, so I've got the candle out, a big taller one. So here's my char cloth. Set it on top of my flint. And we'll catch our spark, hopefully. Come on. Oh, no spark getting on there at all. There you go. There it goes. So I got my spark. That is my flint. Here, and then this, and just like that, we have ourselves a fire. What I'll do is I'll make another bird's nest for later. Spoke too soon about having a fire. Now we've got fire. So as you can see, the fire's going, and we're gonna start getting ready to make some elk steaks. You can't hear anything really, it's nice and quiet. I forgot to mention, I'm kind of whispering now. We jumped about 5 or 6 deer a couple 100 yards from here. None of them were bucks, they were all does, but there was a noise in the back that we couldn't see. Hard to say what that was, but up here we're in the elk hunting as well as the deer hunting, so if it's a buck, a legal buck, I'll shoot it. And again, with the elk, it has to be a brow tine bull elk, so I'll be looking for either one of those. Any trophy with a flintlock is a heck of a time, so anytime you can enjoy yourself hunting and also find an animal that's God gives us to sustain ourselves as well as to enjoy ourselves and our freedoms. So I'll be back in just a little bit after I have camp. Okay. Went did a morning hunt this morning. Spent a couple hours doing the morning hunt. Came back. I put a big log on the fire. As you can see, I put a big log on the fire when I left, and I'm going to make breakfast now. That was just kind of to hold it. I use a lot of punky wood for that because it sits there and it just smolders and smolders and smolders. Up here, I'm not worried about any smoke or anything. Not worried about much fire going out. It's November, and you'd have a tough time starting a fire, let alone spreading a fire. So anyway, I'm going to build it up real quick,
do some techniques. You'll watch me take off my powder horn, a couple other things. I use a blow tube, a copper pipe with a little hole in the end of it. And you'll see the fire roar up in just a minute. And I'll get to that. So we've got the fire going up again, and my hair's running out of the place. Got the fire all set up again, and we're going to start cooking. You see my pot off to the left there. Got pretty cold last night. I use virgin wool blankets because virgin wool holds the heat a lot better, and some of the blended stuff just doesn't have the same heat content. So anyway, we had a good night. It got down to about 18 degrees, and I'm going to make breakfast. Okay, what I've done is I've seasoned my elk steaks with a little bit of dried onion and bourbon type rub, so it'll be a little bit of seasoning on there, and I'll show you what I do. Take this one and I stick it sideways like this. I'll cook it slowly on the fire, turning it on my own. The other one, I don't know if you can see it, it's on a little stick that holds it up, and it'll slow cook for quite a while. So as you can see, fire's doing really well. Cooking the steaks. And then this allows me to turn it any direction. This one I've got propped up. You can use it by hand, or I can prop it on a stick. Hunting this morning was pretty successful. We had a lot of whitetail deer, all at about 150 yards, not any closer. And I didn't see any bucks in the bunch, so couldn't get anything close. No elk, and we'll see what we can do here in a little bit. But I figured I'd come back and stoke the fire up again, and notice I'm wearing my capote this morning. So anyway, that's the story of the morning today. I had some snow last night, but it didn't actually stick. So that's my morning breakfast. Okay, so this one's done. I like to say that's cooked to perfection. I like to put it into a bun, grab it over top of it, slide it off, and that's a morning sandwich. So, okay, I returned from another pretty successful hunt. I could have shot some more does. No bucks in the bunch again, so I'm gonna find another area a little bit farther away. But anyway, came back, see how my fire has gone down again. Pretty much nothing left of it. I'll put it back together. I want to keep the fire going just so I don't have to restart it every time. So this is witch's hair, angel's fur, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people call it a lot of different things. It's a lichen, grows on the trees, and really catches fire good. And grab my blow tube. I like to blow from the uphill side where the wind's not blowing, I guess it'd be. And just like that, the fire's going again, and we're ready to go. Notice how I've got my frying pan and my cooking utensils, the blow tube, the pot on this side, my pierced tin lantern, my bottle of nighttime remedy, my little copper cup, camping axe. You see a couple candles there. I didn't use them last night. My blanket underneath the tarp, my pack basket, and finally my rifle and everything on this side. Okay, as you can see, I'm starting the cleanup process. I love the low impact hunting I do with traditional pre-1840 stuff. It allows me to get back to kind of feeling like you're still 150, 200 years ago. So I kind of really enjoy that. But I want to hit some key things on here. I didn't really go into them, but the fire here, we'll put it out, finish the rest of the way in just a few minutes, needs to be out. I'm on private property. It's a friend of mine's large parcel of land, and it's surrounded by Forest Service. It's a super place. The family is wonderful, and they give me permission to come up here. So that's the first thing you want to do. I didn't talk about the hunting tags and stuff. Don't take anything that you're not supposed to take. Hunting is about the enjoyment of it, not about killing. If you're just out to kill something, you need to do something other than hunting. Hunting is more of an enjoyable situation, where you partake in nature more than take from nature. So I want to leave it basically the way I left it. You can see where my tent was, but it's not much different than what it was when I got here, except for the branches are cleaned up. The fire will be covered once the coals are done and cold. I'll make sure of that, but then I'll cover it up and leave the branches kind of similar to, I'll kind of look over here, kind of similar to what they had already over here. You see how dirty it is over there with all the trees and stuff? I'll probably cover the fire again after I know it's out for sure. Again, it's November. We're not too worried about the fires. We're starting burn piles all over the place, so it's not a major issue. The leathers I wear are buckskins. They're handmade by myself. All the stuff here is either made by myself or friends, family, and it's not just something we love to do. So I'm gonna head to another hunting area. I'm probably not staying the night, but I'm heading to another hunting area where I know that there's got to be better animals right now. That does are all up here. You'd think with the rut starting, the does and the bucks would get together, but sure, no signs of buck up here at all, and the elk just aren't in here right now. So, old sign, and that's it. Anyway, thank you for coming along on the trip. We're about to pack up and get out of here in just a little bit.
I hope you enjoyed that. You found that informative. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the previous video, Montana muzzleloader shoot, check that out. And if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to check out all my other videos to see if this is sort of content you might be interested in. And if you are, then I recommend that you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, where you'll be notified anytime I release new material such as this. If you have any recommendations or you want to share any stories with me, you can contact me privately through my email or yourjourneytransitions@gmail.com, or through my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course my website, yourjourneytransitions.com. So until next time, this is Rick Ward, your guide to the retirement stages, wishing you an extraordinary retirement.
This is like a cocoon.
What comes out of a cocoon?
Butterflies.
Are butterflies beautiful?
Yes.